Okay. My partner, Elena Bowman, is here with me. She's our director of softball ops. You there, Elena?
I'm here.
All right.
I'm here.
Did I do everything right so far?
I think we're good. People are
Did
filing in.
people
Yeah, we're
filing
we're all
in?
set.
All right, great. All right, so let me make some introductions here. Let me go to the right slide. You hear, Elena, myself, from the Performance Academy in Apex, North Carolina, which I've been there. Very nice place outside of Raleigh, right? Just south of Raleigh,
Yes, sir.
right? So we have
Melon.
McMillan, the
Yep.
owner, and then we have Beth Vuano. There's, yep. And we have Holly Travis in marketing. So they're with us. And Baseball Revolution in Pennsylvania, just outside of Philly, is Chris Vallis. He's with us as well. So thanks everyone for joining us. So again, we're talking about Friday night fights, something that we just initiated a couple of weeks ago, and both facilities have been participating in that in the first 3 weeks. So before we get into all of that, maybe you guys can introduce yourselves. I gave you a very brief introduction, but Chris, why don't we start with you? Tell us a little bit about your facility. Tell us a little bit about how you're using the systems and how maybe your first introduction into Friday night fights. I just got an error message, by the way. Elena, are we still going?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Got an error message. So Chris, take it away.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here and happy to promote this great product that has really taken our facility to the next level. So we're a small facility outside of Philly. We're about 30 minutes southwest of the city. So it's been a COVID hotspot. We just got to the point, about tomorrow, I guess, we'll turn to the green phase here in Chester County, where we're finally able to really get back up and rolling. We've been in yellow for the past month or so, and Friday night fights and HitTrax has been a complete, it's shot life into our facility. We were closed for 3 months. So we actually just opened back in November, with HitTrax. I knew I wanted it from the beginning, as a training tool, as a gaming tool, from an overall perspective of taking our facility above everybody else around us. We have a small facility. The warehouse space was really hard to come by in this area, which is part of the reason that there aren't that many training academies around. So I have 1,800 square feet with 2 tunnels and low ceilings, and was just really nervous about how it was going to play out, just being so enclosed and tight. But it's amazing with HitTrax, the feeling that nobody feels like they're inside. When you hit a ball and it hits a 9-foot high net, usually people watch the ball and they see it fall and they have no idea what happened, but all of a sudden everybody looks at the screen and you see the trajectory of the ball and you feel the feeling's incredible. It's hard to describe. I mean, you guys, Elena knows, she knows the feeling. Like, it doesn't feel like you're inside. It's like I just crushed the ball 300 feet and I'm watching it go, and meanwhile the ball's rolling at my feet, but nobody knows that or nobody feels that. So the product has been tremendous in that respect. 2 tunnels, we were open for November, December, January, February, 4 months, and then complete shutdown.
So were you doing a lot of instruction during that time frame? You just got the ball rolling really with it. So.
Yeah, we did. We were doing instruction. We were doing winter hitting leagues. So around here, it's cold and everybody was inside. So I had guys, it's good. I was telling Mike about this. We've had kids ages 10 to adults age 55 come through. And one of the biggest markets we've had is adult hardball leagues in the winter. There's guys, 40 to 50 years old, dusting off the cleats, coming out and hitting a wood bat again. It was like the smile on their face was tremendous. So we've done everything from individual instruction to we just started up our travel teams and using this, and as well as just the gaming module and getting people in playing. So we've really used the whole system.
Okay, great. Well, thanks.
Yeah.
So,
Got shut down.
A couple of months, everything started up again with the COVID, and you kind of were forced to shut down. And again, this is one of the reasons why we started Friday Night Fights, is to help businesses come back and grab these people. Bo, you want to give us an introduction, or Holly, or?
Yeah, I can run it. I can run through it a little bit. Chris, I think he hit the nail on the head with what the HitTrax does for a cage setting, and taking a cage and making it so much bigger with just a machine right there. It is one of those things that you truly have to experience. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about that when we go into our marketing, and how to bring that experience into your marketing, to allow it to grow, allow people to try it out, and get them to take that step into the cage and actually try out this new system that has actually been around for a little bit. So TPA, a little bit larger facility. We're a 15,000 square foot facility in Apex, North Carolina. We have close to 10 baseball teams, around 5 softball teams that run out of our facility. We came in contact with HitTrax about 4 years ago. Got one of their original systems, and it was that first time that you started to understand that exit velocity and launch angle and all these things are really going to start playing into the game, and it's all come true over the last couple of years. We got our second HitTrax system about 2 years ago, and allowing our biggest use of it has been in lessons. For us, it allows us to take a kid, make an adjustment, and for them to see how that adjustment plays out. It just basically adds that little validity to our statements that we're making. So that's awesome. We started as a sports performance facility in 2011. And as time has went on, and with different general managers, we slowly kind of turned into more of a baseball facility, then adding 3 cages, and then that turning into 5 cages. And now having softball being brought in and adding in those 5 teams as well. We're actually trying to build out a bigger middle room that's going to allow us to bring in cameras, live feeds with the HitTrax, and almost have more live at bat feels for our teams in the winter season. But the HitTrax has been a huge, marketing wise, I think it's probably our #1 marketing tool. We use that thing for anywhere from instruction to our teams for a reason why to play on our teams, free access to it if you're on our teams. These types of things have allowed us to grow the facility immensely over the past couple of years. So
That's great. So it sounds like a pretty healthy mix of instruction and entertainment or gaming side of it.
And the entertainment and gaming side really came from you all over I think it was a month and a half ago, you guys did a webinar with some facilities up north. And I remember looking at his, I can't remember his name, but I remember he was sitting in front of his facility. It was massive indoor with like the whole infield and everything. And beautiful facility. And like looking at it and just being like, okay, we can truly use this thing not only just for instructional purposes, like we can use this to play full-on games, put on leagues, quality hit game tournaments. And for us, we want to drive and take on any idea you guys then from here on out have put forward, which has been the Friday night fights as of recent. So,
all right, great. Well, we thank you both again for coming, both facilities. So let's get into that a little bit. Friday nights, we can go off and talk about analytics and gaming and stuff like that, but this one's going to be more about what we're doing now with these Friday night fight series. So what's our goal for Friday night fights? So when the pandemic hit, and we've been doing gaming for quite a while. We're an analytics company. Well, we're really an experience company, but we focused on analytics first, and then the gaming side came pretty quickly because of certain features and all that. But the online tournaments, which is the root of the Friday night fights, it's been around for a little bit of time, about a year, 2 years now. We're trying to get the right mix on how to do this with different facilities, whether it's facility versus facility or multiple facilities joining a tournament. And there's a lot of complexities with that with respect to timing. How do we get all these facilities together and play games at specific times against each other? And that proved hard the last couple of years. So when the pandemic hit, we took a step back like everyone was forced to do. We're like, okay, when this comes back, which it's going to come back, where facilities that were shuttered are going to open their doors again, we need something to help out these players that lost seasons and also the facilities that basically their businesses have been shut down. So we thought about these online tournaments, and the past year and a half that we've been kind of fiddling around trying to figure out the right formula for this. We're like, okay, well, let's do one night where we could get a very competitive environment and safe environment, right? Where maybe you're only allowed X number of players into the facility. So we said, okay, let's get small teams and provide a fun, competitive experience for the players, which we do, but yet they're standalone games. And by standalone games, it means that facility A doesn't have to play facility B at a specific time. And because there are all these complex, like, I don't know, the pitching machine breaks down or someone's late. That was always a problem for us because it was just stuff that was out of our control. So it's okay, let's make it a standalone game, but that standalone game, which can be played anytime during the day, then gets funneled up into the leaderboard for Friday Night Fights, and we'll have different divisions. So that's what we kind of put together with Friday Night Fights. Any team can play 2 to 4 players or 1 to 4 players. They can play anytime. They just go to their facility, and we're providing a competitive and safe environment. So that's really what our goal was, and that's what we put forth. And, you know, we started it 3 weeks ago. We've had roughly 80 teams and 200 to 300 players per week. Not a lot from California yet in the West Coast, mostly East Coast, because I think, you know, the businesses are still shuttered out there or just been slow to come back with. So we're still growing with this. It's only been 3 weeks, and we have nice sponsors that have come forward and helped us out with this. The first week was Easton. Last week was with Dick's Sporting Goods. This week it's Chandler Bats. So it gives a little bit of an incentive or a prize for the players too at the kind of the end of the games to look forward to. So they're able to see their live scores. They're able to see their stats and their standings. And all they have to do is just grab a couple of friends and go to their local facility and register and participate. It takes 2 seconds, and then you'll see everything live. So that's what our goal was, and that's what the structure is of Friday Night Fights, and hopefully, and we're still learning, you know, and we're still kind of getting feedback from people and what to do and make this thing even more fun and more competitive. So yeah, that's kind of a background of it. I don't know, Chris, Bo, Holly, someone want to add to that at all?
I definitely can. So if I go back to about a month and a half ago, after that seminar, we literally put on a full-blown league playoff type idea for our teams, or not for our teams, but for any of our clients. We did 6 teams in the younger age group and 6 teams in the older age group, younger being up to 13, older being high school. We did the first weekend, it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday were the younger teams, and then Saturday, Sunday were the older teams. They played a league style, so I think it was 4 games. I think they had a 30-minute time limit on how many games they could get in those 30 minutes. And from there, we took their scores and were able to build out a bracket system. From there, we brought them into the next weekend where they had a playoff, and we got to figure out who won.
So that's a problem.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was awesome. But problems with it. We had kids that had to sit outside because of everything going on with COVID. We had kids that had to sit outside and wait for 45 minutes in between games before they could go back in to play their next game. Issues like that came along. And so with the Friday Night Fights idea, where we could have one team come in, they had that cage for an hour, 40 minutes. Each game is 20 minutes and built out. And however much you can get in those 20 minutes is, I think, a great idea and a great way to run it. But it's allowed us now not to feel like you need to come to the facility and hang out for the next 5 hours until you can get all your games in. You can sign up for a specific time, come in, play against anyone in the country, and while you're playing, every inning shows exactly what the top team is at. So if the top team in the third inning scored 14 runs, you know that you're at it was amazing, because then it adds that bit of drive, like, oh, I need to get in there. We got to put up 4 at least this inning. We got to make sure we're somewhere on pace. Or if you can feel yourself starting to fall away or starting to feel yourself pull away. I think those, for us as a staff, marketing wise, I think logistics wise, for families, for parents bringing their kids by, allows them to drop them off and not feel like they need to sit there and hang out because you don't know where your schedule is going to go. So I think both work really well, but this one is something that I think is such an easier weekly task that doesn't require a commitment for a longer period of time. You just need to sign up for that time for that weekend. And if you choose not to do it next weekend, you choose not to. If you do, you do. And it's a new shot every weekend against everyone in the country, which is, I mean, I think it's an idea that I probably would have never thought of. So I think it's awesome. And
I chuckled a little bit in the middle of there. So look, it sounds like you're blocking. People are reserving cage hours,
yes.
and they're playing 3 games. So the Friday night fights is a 7-inning or 20-minute time limit, and we tweak that every week based on feedback. So you're renting cages by the hour or by the 20 minutes or something like that, right?
So we're doing the hour, and the team is paying. So right now we're setting at an $80 price point for that cage rental for that hour.
The hour?
So now if I know this week is 2 to 4 players. So if you have 4 players, $20 a piece, and you're getting that full hour, which is more than enough swings. I know I was sore for a whole week after we did it last Friday.
6, 4, 3.
And yeah, it's amazing. And so to me, that gives them those 3 games. 3 games is going to wear you out, and it's enough to see if you can compete or be at the top of that leaderboard. But it's also at a price point that allows us to justify not having a lesson going on at the same time. It allows us to justify blocking off almost that day for HitTrax specific for the Friday night fights. And it's a price point where the client is getting their bang for their buck. They're getting multiple swings. They're getting it off a machine. They have an instructor putting it in the machine, so they don't have to feel like there's any variables that are going into it that's creating unfair environment. So
that's great. So
can I hop in here with a follow-up question too for Bo to that point? When you guys were deciding on committing to gameplay as a staff, did you say we're going to block out this amount of hours from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and let's see who signs up? Or did you do it opposite? Did you say, let's see who signs up and then we'll block off the hours? Because I think to your point, as somebody who's at a facility that's more training centric, it's a little intimidating to really make the jump and not book those hours out in case nobody signs up. So just out of curiosity, what was your thought process there?
So we went the first way. So I think it's the idea of you have to give to get. So we went ahead and blocked off. So Friday, Saturday, Sundays, our facility from an instructional standpoint is being used the least. Monday through Thursday, we're pretty much booked out from 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock at night. So on Fridays, we felt that was our best chance to go ahead and block off those time slots, give it the opportunity, just because we didn't want to run into any logistical issues where someone booked a lesson, but they also bought the cage around the same time and run into that. We wanted to dedicate our facility towards the Friday night fights on Friday nights so that we could see and really go full blown into marketing, not have to worry about any conflicts. So we did go into the hour. We just went ahead and blocked it off from 12 to 7 on Friday nights. We blocked off that whole area. No lessons are able to be done in those cages. Granted, we do have other cages that we can do lessons in. And for us, we do have the benefit of not having, you can do a lesson without the HitTrax. You don't have to have it. It is a great benefit. So for us, being able to do this in that cage and be able to market specifically to this, and if there was another lesson, being able to put them in another cage for that time being wasn't going to play a big enough or have a bad effect on our company at all. It's all positive, being able to block it off.
So then, I mean, in that same hour, is the coach that would typically be in the HitTrax cage, is she or he giving a lesson in another cage?
Yes.
So in the same hour, you're doubling essentially the revenue of the same space. That's awesome.
Exactly. And we do have that benefit. I know for Chris, it's for us, it's very wide open. North Carolina does, obviously, everyone, it's well known, it's very country type feel where it's very wide open. So we have the space to be able to do that. But I think for us, it was better to go ahead and block it off and dedicate all of our marketing on Friday night to that Friday night, and stay away from the instruction, because I think over the long term, everything's going to be kind of built around the weekend for us with the HitTrax in leagues and adult leagues, which I want to pick Chris's mind on his adult league stuff, because we haven't gone into that at all, and we do have plenty of parents that are asking about some type of
That's
league.
a good segue for Chris to pop in here. So, you have a bigger facility down in North Carolina. Yours is 2 cages, I believe you said, right?
Yep.
And you have 1 HitTrax system. So how do you go about marketing this and logistics wise?
This actually was perfect for us. Your first Friday night, I know you guys timed this up, I think in line with some of the restrictions being lifted for COVID. And that first Friday was the first day we went to yellow phase. So the first day that I was allowed to open, this just revitalized my center. I mean, I advertised this, and I had not only my previous clients sign up for this, but they would bring a buddy, which I can't even tell you, my clientele has probably doubled since in the past 3 weeks since we've done this. Just getting new people in the facility to play Friday night fights. So now they come in for a lesson once or twice a week, and then they're always asking about Friday because this is their end goal. We can train towards something. And now we go in, we do our lesson, we work towards Friday night, come in, smash baseballs for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and bring a buddy. So it completely has revitalized our center. It's been great just by bringing in the new faces as well. It's been a complete turnaround for us.
So have you been doing the same thing as Bo and that team down there with cage rentals? You're renting it out. So I kind of envisioned it as maybe, and maybe COVID's preventing this in the phases, but it's a Friday night fight. Everyone come and pizza party and take turns in a queue and with teams, but it's probably not.
Not with COVID.
I know, but that's what my big vision is. But unfortunately, we can't do that now.
At the end of the night, when I save the adults for the end that come in, so that's when the beer starts trickling into the facility and it gets a little looser towards the end, and everybody goes out for drinks after. But can't have the kids hanging out. We don't have space for it either. But we can't have the kids hanging out. We just kind of get them in and get their time, and once they're done, the next group will come in.
You're reserving you're reserving hours.
Yeah, we do 30-minute and 60-minute slots. If there's a team of 1 or 2, 30 minutes is more than enough. Teams of 3 or 4 will go for an hour.
Yep.
Can I ask a question of the price points that you're doing that at?
Yeah, we're exactly the same as you. So we're $80 for an hour, and then we're $45 for 30 minutes, and then we do a one-time $10 HitTrax profile setup fee for new clients. So the one time they're set up in the system, and just kind of. One other
question. So when you're doing the Friday night, where are you drawing your line for? So you obviously have your kids' time slots going to a certain time. Where are you drawing that line to go more towards the adult, like to market towards the adult group?
We usually start around 6 or 7 for the adults, and there's only probably 2 to 4 groups of adults. It's mostly college and younger kids throughout the day. And then we're pretty open as far as whenever the players want to play and give them a choice to sign up, here's what's available. So we may have groups come in from noon till 2 and then have a break till 3:30, and then from 3:30 to 9 or 10 we're booked. So just kind of give the teams a choice of when they can get in, but usually in the evenings around 6 or 7 starts the adults.
So we're talking a little bit about fees now. So we've had questions in the past where does it cost anything? So what we do for HitTrax now, what we do is we charge per team, per registered team, whether it's 1 player or 4 players. HitTrax will charge the facility $5 to register that team. But then they can play unlimited number of games. So if Elena and I came in to RBI Academy or the TPA or wherever, we would then rent the cage. We wouldn't get charged by HitTrax, but the facility would pay $5 on the team's behalf, and you would take that out of your cage rental fee, right?
That to us was one of those things that I had to have someone kind of sit down with me and be like, okay, this is what they're saying, because it almost sounds too good to be true. From a facility standpoint, you're like, so we pay $5 and I can charge them for the cage space. Like, you guys, like, that was the first moment where I was like, you guys are truly trying to help out the facilities and allow them ways to show that you can monetize the system and not just use it as an add-on, truly use it as a way to have revenue coming into your facility. So, no, I think that the fact that it's set up like that makes it very easy for us to block everything off. I know when we were the inputting of the information before each game, setting up the teams or new profiles if needed, is a very simple 5 to 10 minute process before each game. If they're not already in the system, if they're already in the system, it's maybe 30 seconds. It's literally a couple clicks. So no, I think you guys did an amazing job of ease of the client, with us being the client, to put things in and set things up for that.
Yeah, thanks. Because we are trying to make sure that you guys can monetize. You guys made an investment in the system, and now it's our job to help you monetize it and bring people in so that you guys can have a nice return on investment with the capital that you spent on it. And this is just another way to do it. So there are some fees, but it's team fees, but you guys baked into the cage rental, and then unlimited.
I know you guys went into the idea of like the pizza party on a Friday night. So I know with COVID, obviously we're stuck without that, but just even when you say that, I think about once we get to a time period where it's not so much so, it will be extremely easy for us to include that into our programs for our teams. We'll be able to add in a Friday night practice, maybe for our teams that's every other week or twice a month or once a month, that our teams all get together, they all come around and they're all joining in and playing in this Friday night fights as a pre-weekend idea. Most of their games are Saturdays and Sundays. You're able to get 3 teams over here and have them all hang out and have pizza. I think it really, for us, we say a lot to our client base that it's a family. We're a family. It's a TPA family. And that allows us to continue to build that chemistry throughout our entire program. So once again, you're throwing out you throw that out there because that's kind of what you imagine. It hasn't turned out like that, but now I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, that's something that if next summer is much better, that we will probably bring into our program next summer. So
Great.
Very cool.
Chris, you want to talk a little bit about marketing, how to market it?
Sure. The program really markets itself once you get it in the hands of your customers. So we've used social media tools. I know you guys have been great just, in tagging each other, and just our following has increased as well over the past 3 weeks since we've started this. It's been easy to get online, post pictures of the winners, post screenshots of the standings from the game center and HitTrax. Here's how our teams finished. Here's how our guys finished. And they love it. They love seeing it. Their families are proud. They share it with their aunts and uncles. And the old guys, when they don't score any runs, they can get on there and say, look, we're not last. So it's great. They kind of get 2 broken bats, but they're not last. So it markets itself once you get it out there. And that's the hardest part was building that following. You guys down there know you do your email mailers and get into the hands of people so they can sign up, and then you just blast it on social, which has been our biggest tool.
Okay. So we also have been lucky, or not lucky, we've also been fortunate enough that we've had sponsors helping with this as well. So the winners, we have different divisions, right? And we're still tweaking the divisions. So for baseball, we have the slow pitch for men or women, and then we have baseball and softball divisions as well. And the winners of those get HitTrax merchandise, which I should probably run and grab a T-shirt. I wish I could hold one up right now, but we just got some T-shirts that all the winners received. And then we've been fortunate enough to work with some of our industry partners, because we work with all of the bat manufacturers and whatnot. So again, Easton was the first, True Sports, Dick's. This week it's Chandler Bat. So we're trying to rotate it a little bit so that the winners will get a free bat, or they also get, every participant has received coupons as well. So even just signing up, you get a coupon this week to visit the Chandler website and get, I believe it's 25% off of anything that's on the website, or certain bats or something like that. So there's something there for everyone. So we're trying to, I don't want to say incentivize, but we're trying to just give some more perks to the players as they participate, and also for the winners there. And I know, talking with you, I know, Chris, you said that it's great that they're doing it, but you really haven't concentrated so much on the awards or the prizes.
Yeah, I really haven't even put that out there too much to our guys. After seeing, we wanted to kind of see how it went, because I know there's only very few age groups. So you've got a mix of talent and skill level and even age within an age group. So I kind of wanted to see how that went the first night. And when we saw some of the scores coming through, we thought they couldn't be real. So we got a little scared.
Let's talk about that. I can tell you about that.
We didn't focus on that. We just turned it into getting yourself better, improving your own metrics, setting your own personal velo, your own personal distance records. And then that first night when we looked at it, we're like, all right, cool. Like, you guys were actually, don't worry about the scores nationally, worry about yourself, and then see how that falls into place. And they were surprisingly, very happy about where they came in compared to maybe how they thought they did at the event. So we didn't focus on necessarily winning, but improving their own, working on their own game.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit about that too, and then we'll throw it back to you, Bo. I said about the scores. Yeah, we have a couple of, this is all legit too. I know a lot of these teams and these players, and it's the strategy behind this. So when we first thought about it, it was like, okay, team of 2 or 1 or 4 can go in there and they hit one, take a pitch. Maybe then they hit one and they see it play out, and then the next player comes in, takes about 10, 15 seconds. But we've received the first week, what Chris is talking about was a couple of players, they go in home run derby mode, and they just pitch and pitch and pitch and pitch, and they don't even wait for the ball to come down. So that led to some pretty high scores. So we're trying to tweak that a little bit and make sure that maybe they have to wait 7 seconds before the next pitch is thrown, or we eliminated the single player teams so that there has to be a switch between players after an at-bat. So there's little things like that which weaken. So I hear you with that. So I think the scores that last week, the scores came down a bit for those people that weren't readily that home run derby mode of pitch. There was some time between pitches that we put in there to and also not interrupt the flow of it. So anyway, Bo, I'll throw it to you about the prizes, or I don't know, Holly and Beth haven't spoken too much about the prizes. Is that a big thing for your players?
So for us, we've mentioned prizes a little bit. So we're marketing mostly to our teams and the kids who are coming in for lessons and stuff like that. So they are interested in competing, especially with everything that's been going on. There is that competition factor for them. So that's been a part of our marketing process. But I will go into the marketing a little bit, just because I do want to make sure we hit on this. Like Chris said, once it's in the hands of the clients, it really does sell itself. But getting it to that point was like a struggle that we've had to overcome. So we've sent out emails. We've made flyers and Instagram stories using canva.com, and those are great. Those are awesome with explaining exactly what it is. But sometimes those are a little bit wordy and more for the parents, I guess. But really to get the kids interested, we've decided that video and pictures are what helps the most. So if a facility was going to implement this, what I would suggest is maybe just get a couple coaches in, maybe a couple high school kids to volunteer, just get as many videos as possible. What we're going to do tomorrow for us is we're going to go on Instagram Live and Facebook Live with one of the teams that's playing, and we're going to save that to our Facebook and Instagram pages, just because, it's fun, and the whole program is seamless, and it's, again, so much fun, but you have to show that. So that's what our plan is with marketing, for sure, because it's for the kids, for us mostly, and they have to be able to see with their own eyes what we're doing. Yeah. And we're excited about that for sure.
And to add to Holly really quick too, we've also been live streaming it on Twitch. So that way kids can send that link to like grandma that lives all the way in Idaho, and she can watch it too, and live and in real time, which is really awesome.
So that's great, because we are starting to test with live streaming. And I think we have a couple of facilities that we're working with, and we're not making it public just yet, but we are actually testing all that stuff out there. Next month, we're looking to go live with that on the HitTrax Open, which is another event that we're doing for minor league players and softball players and Olympians. So we're really trying to roll out there. But I think you'll see some features or some tools within HitTrax and on the website with respect to streaming as well. Of course, the facilities have to have the proper Wi-Fi speed and all that. So there's some obstacles there that we have to overcome. But that's a really great point. So grandma and aunts and uncles and whatever cousins or friends, they're able to see that game live.
Mhm. Especially with social distancing right now.
Yeah, and to hop in there, so you guys, so it's just a Twitch account and you just go straight from the HitTrax desktop. I mean, take us a little bit more through that, because I think that would be super helpful for people to know how to do it from their places.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Do you know more
Yeah.
about that?
Bo, if you want to talk a little bit on that,
Yeah.
he did that
He
last
set it
time
up.
we did it. Yeah.
So the way our facility is set up, we have 2 cages. If you can imagine it, we have 2 cages, and in the corner of the first cage, so they're side by side, in the corner of the first cage is the HitTrax computer. So both monitors are stacked on top of each other, and both of those computers have a camera that comes out of them. So basically what we did was download Twitch on one of the computers, set up an account, and through there you could start recording out of that computer, and we were able to sync up the HitTrax screen with the Twitch. So now
Cool.
you are getting a small corner where you're getting the video of the kid actually hitting, but the whole majority of the screen was the HitTrax screen, basically like a screen share.
And you just did it with your VCam?
Yeah, we just did it with the computer,
Really
with
cool.
the monitor's cam. And from there, you're able to send out the link and everyone can watch it from home and things like that. It was something that we kind of figured out while we were doing the league idea. We were trying to do it all Facebook Live, and the amount of times that our iPad got knocked over by the kids. So the next weekend, we came back and tried out the Twitch platform on the computer, and I think it's the cleanest way to be able to do it. We could pull it up on different TVs in the facility. So yes, and I'm more than willing to try and send over more information on, I guess, a more descriptive way of.
Yeah,
putting
no,
it.
that's awesome. And I think the more, to your point, and seeing what both of your facilities do on social media and what we get from it is you're just actively marketing this. It's not something that either of your facilities are, you put up one screenshot or you put up one image and you move on. I mean, I'm seeing you guys post it on your story every day. And then it's not just, okay, here's tournament day, but here are our winners. And it's not even about who was in first place, but like, hey, look at these names that weren't in last place, right? But I think something that we're really grabbing from you guys and kind of bringing it for full circle as to why I think you're really doing a great job and helping us get the word out there is you're so active on the marketing side and sharing that content. So that's phenomenal. So you said Canva, Twitch, and Chris, you're doing a lot of like screenshots and pictures of the cages and winning teams and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
Cool. I have one last question, and it actually came from one of the participants. I think it's a fantastic question. New facility, how do I get started? What would be your first piece of advice? Interested in Friday night fights, just want to know, where do I start from your perspective?
If we're starting with us, so this being that they have the HitTrax and they have a new facility and they have a small client base, I'm guessing. From my perspective, and what we did for that first Friday was the teams that we had put in it, I totally covered the costs. I paid for it. It's not an insane cost that like you're going to sit there and put yourself in a hole. Invite a couple people to come over for maybe ask for 4 different teams and ask them to come over and say that it's completely free and you can win something, but we're going to hang out and try and figure out the system. And from there, allow them to experience it, because what we learned was the experience of doing the Friday night fights is so much fun. That is what sells it. And for us, our marketing is all going to the experience, not about so much the prize. Yes, the prize is awesome, but show them that there is a great experience that comes along with this Friday night fights, and the smiles on their face will sell it to the next people coming in. So I would say go ahead and use it as marketing dollars. And
Give a little to get a little. What was you give to get? That's what you said at the beginning.
Give a little, get a little.
I like
Yeah,
that.
Get,
Like
yeah.
that.
So
Cool.
that's my suggestion.
Chris, what do you think?
Agree more. You got to find a way to get people in the first time to see it. And even still now, last night, I just had one of our local little league teams who was a friend of mine. I said, bring your team in for a practice. I'll give you an hour and a half free. Let them play a couple games. And they walked away, and I walked away with 3 new clients, like right there. So you got to get people in, find a core group. You started this business because you know there's a need for this, and you probably had people already that were coming to you saying, I'm in if you do this. Get that core group and get them to buy in. And once they're in, it sells itself. It really is. It's not something where you can wave a magic wand and throw flyers out there and people are going to show up. This truly is a business of referral. I'm sure you're going up against other centers. I have 2 large centers within 30 minutes to an hour that people were just fed up with because of the outrageous fees and, the very impersonal coaching. So find your niche, sell yourself for what what your dream is, and people will follow and they'll sell it for you.
Awesome. No, I think those are great answers. Seriously, I think the give to get, actively market, make your connections, build your network. And I think, I'll speak for Mike and myself, just let us know how we can help too. If there's particular formats that you like, if there's particular formats that you don't like. I mean, the constructive feedback has been just as helpful for us as, all the compliments, and it's going wells. And so, let us know what you want to see. If you don't mind high scoring games, I mean, we're thinking about doing like a battle royale, right, Mike, where we're 1-person teams and it's a separate night in its own, so kind of sky's the limit here, and you guys keep letting us know how we can support you along the way.
Most definitely. No, loving it, and keep giving us as many ideas as we can to implement and give out to our clients, because we're loving being able to use the HitTrax for more than just a lesson standpoint. So it's been very fun.
Well, thank you very much, Chris and Holly, Beth, Bo. We really appreciate your time today and your support with HitTrax and Friday Night Fights. And we will definitely try to continue our efforts in helping the businesses, of course, and putting out some more events. So be on the lookout for that. Anything else to add? Chris, Bo, Elena, we good?
You're right. No, thank you guys for everything.
Yeah, no, thank you. And if you're on that edge of or verge of going towards a HitTrax system or not, I think there are a million ways to be able to monetize the system and use the system very well in your facility. And I would definitely push you towards exploring it and seeing what it could potentially do to grow your facility. So thank you.
We appreciate that.
All right.
No more questions, Elena, out there?
No, I think we're good.
All right.
All right. Thanks,
everyone. Have a
guys.
good
Thanks for
day.
coming on.
Is anyone else who's playing, by the way? Has anyone played? Chris, you grab a bat yet?
Oh, absolutely. I've been playing slow pitch. I've been playing fast pitch, whatever I can get in there.
Yeah.
We played last week. We're probably one of those teams. We had a machine set low and in, fastballs at like 52, 53 miles an hour.
There you go.
Did you win?
Yeah, we won. We're the Cage Warriors that were just hitting home runs.
All right. Gotcha. I'm mailing out the gifts.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And I hit into about 17 6-4-3 double plate. So embarrassing, but I'll try to do better this week. All right, everyone. Thanks
All
a
right.
lot.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.